Okay. So it looks like Kevin is the only one we are holding out on. Do we want to get started? I'll ask the chair people, Hayes and Mark, give me a thumbs up. Okay, I have started live streaming. I'm going to start the recording. Okay, good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. And thank you for joining the City of Kingston Heritage Area Commission and the Historic Landmark Preservation Commission for a joint monthly meeting of each respective commission. Today is Thursday, January 6th, 2022. My name is Suzanne Cahill. I'm the planning director and the organizer for the virtual meeting tonight. Before we begin our meeting, we would like to go over a few guidelines to help navigate the system as efficiently and respectfully as possible. We are now using the Zoom webinar-based format, so all commissioners and applicants have received specific joining instruction as panelists. As panelists, you will be visible and able to speak once arriving at the meeting. Guests will have the option to use the chat, and the Q&A can be unmuted or muted. All guests will be present as view-only attendees unless we promote them to panelists, at which time they will be visible and be able to be heard. As the organizer, I reserve the right to mute anyone who unmutes themselves. Commission members and city staff will control their own mute button. Good practice would be to mute yourself if you are not speaking to avoid background noise and feedback. If a commissioner or staff wishes to speak, they will raise their hand. As the organizer, either I or the chair will call on them before they speak by stating their name clearly for our audio listeners and transcript recording. All of our meetings are recorded. Both video and written transcriptions will be made available to the public on the city website at a later date. Also note that this meeting is being live streamed on the city's YouTube channel. In lieu of public speaking during the monthly meeting, we requested all comment to be received by 2 p.m. on Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. Comments could have been emailed to skhill@kingston-ny.gov, hand-delivered, placed in regular mail, or in the drop box at City Hall. No comments were received. All meeting materials, including applications supporting documentation, may be found on the city website by going to www.kingston-ny.gov. On the homepage, scroll to the bottom under meetings where you see the joint meeting posted. Click on the appropriate link for the meeting agenda and materials. If at any time you have an audio issue, send a text message to the following number, 845-443-0416. I will repeat the number again, but be aware that phone calls will not be answered during the meeting. The number again to text is 845-443-0416. As the organizer for today's meeting, I reserve the right to lock and post the meeting, to eject anyone who has behaved inappropriately, or to enter into attorney-client conference if needed. On behalf of the commission, I wish to thank everyone for your continued patience during this unique time and wish you and your family good health. I now call the meeting to order at 6:35 p.m. and I will turn the floor over to Chairman Hayes Clement for the HAC, who will be followed by the Historic Landmarks Preservation Commission Chairman Mark Grumblatt to introduce their respective commissions and to consider adoption of the most previous meeting minutes. Hayes, you're up.
Thank you, Sue. Welcome everyone to the January 6, 2022 meeting of the Heritage Area Commission and the Historic Landmarks Preservation Commission. I'm Hayes Clement. I'm a member of the HLPC and I'm the chairman of the HAC. I'm going to call now for a roll call of HAC members, starting with Dean Barnes. And if you could verbally say you're present, Dean.
Dean, you need to unmute.
Present.
Michael Del Priore. Verbally, Michael. You have to unmute.
Present.
Nettie Morano.
Present.
Janet Marr.
Present.
And I do not see Bonnie Howland. Bonnie, are you there?
Bonnie is
I'm
here.
here. Yep,
Got it.
I'm here.
Thank you. Bonnie's here. And Kevin McAvoy.
I just promoted him to panelist, so he should be showing up right now. Here he
Okay,
comes.
thank you.
Yes.
Here,
Hi.
Kevin McAvoy, you're present.
Yeah, I'm having trouble getting in.
No problem.
Good.
An impressive turnout. We have a full house. So that's good. So we definitely have a quorum. Mark, do you want me to go ahead and for us to adopt the minutes, or do you want to introduce people?
I would say go ahead and do your minutes, and we'll hold off for historic landmarks till you're done.
First order of business is approving the Heritage Area Commission minutes of December 2nd, 2021. Has everyone had a chance to read those? Are there any comments or suggested amendments? Do I hear a motion to approve the HAC minutes of December 2nd, 2021 as drafted?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second by Bonnie Howland.
Thank you. Any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
I wasn't at that meeting, so I'll have to abstain, I guess.
Mhm.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Janet Marr.
Aye.
The ayes have it. I will turn it over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Hayes. And I will call the roll for members of Historic Landmark Preservation Commission. Hayes Clement,
Present.
Kevin McAvoy,
Present.
Andrea Putes,
Present.
Robert Tonner,
Present.
and Nettie Morano.
Present.
Excellent. We too have a full house. And has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from our December meeting? Are there any suggested additional comments or amendments thereto? All right. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
So moved, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Do I hear a second?
Andrea
Second,
Pugh.
Morano.
Oh, yeah.
We have
Sorry.
double seconds. I think I'll award that one to Andrea. I think she started first, Nettie. All right. I'll call the roll. Hayes,
Aye.
Andrea,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
Nettie,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
and I will make it unanimous. Thank you. All right. On to the first order of business. Hayes, I will turn this back over to you.
If you've got a preservation notice of action and everything, why don't we do you first and then do HAC?
On this one, Hayes, there is
No.
no preservation notice of action. The HLPC is advisory only.
Gotcha. Second new order of business is 46 Hudson Street, which is an application to install black aluminum replacement windows. Harry Merzen and Shuhan Tiao are the applicants and owners. Harry, I see you. Would you like to sort of explain what's going on here?
Sure. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So as I live at 46 Hudson Street, this on the screen is the house, and as a matter of necessity, we're replacing the existing vinyl replacement windows, which are functioning pretty poorly, with more current Marvin aluminum windows that meet current needs and current code. But from an aesthetic standpoint, our goal is to kind of unify the outside of the house a little bit. As you go around, you'll see that the existing replacement windows are white with red trim. Elsewhere on the house, they're green, or the front door is black as well. So we just want to rein that in, and are proposing to make all of those exterior doors and windows black.
Anybody on the Heritage Area Commission have questions for the applicant? Any comments? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
second, Kevin McAvoy.
Thank you. Any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
That item passes. Do I hear a motion to approve the window replacement installation at 46 Hudson Street as proposed?
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Mike, second.
Michael Del Priore, second. Any debate on that motion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Harry. I'll turn it back over to you, Mark.
Thank you, everyone.
Hang on. While Historic Landmark Preservation Commission, for our members, do we have any comments or questions for the applicant? Looking like everyone is pretty satisfied with what they heard. I will entertain a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act.
Hayes Clement, so moved.
All right, and a second.
Second, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Robert Tonner, second. Any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Hayes?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Nettie?
Aye.
And Kevin?
Aye.
I'll make it unanimous. All right, any discussion of the application as presented? Any questions about exactly what shade of black? Any questions about any installation issues that anyone sees given the architecture of the building? All right, Harry, my question to you then is this, Robert, thank you.
All right. I just want to say, Harry, that it's moving the house in the right direction. It's looking good. That's a good.
And is this a flat black, a glossy black? What are you looking for there?
It is a flat black.
Okay. Any other questions from other members? All right. For HLPC, it's more unusual for us to have an advisory opinion, but that's the situation we're in here. So we are not issuing a preservation notice of action. It's just an advisory opinion for the, in much the same respect that HAC is more often called upon to do. Any questions regarding that? All right. Any questions regarding the application itself? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve, advise approval of this project as presented. Do I hear a second?
Hayes Clement, second.
Thank you, Hayes. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Hayes?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Nettie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
And I'll make it unanimous. All right. Thank you kindly, Harry, for your presentation. And I agree with Robert. I think that it will be a step in the right direction for this house in both terms of appearance and in the longevity of the windows that you've chosen.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Good night.
The next item on the agenda is 28 Post Street. Kyla and Sue, I think this might have the applicant and the owner backwards. Is Nancy Donskoy, I think, is the owner, right?
Yeah, sorry.
No
She's the
problem.
owner.
She is a professional client of mine, so I am going to recuse myself from this matter and turn this portion of the agenda over to Bonnie Howland, our vice chair.
All right. Do we have the applicant and the owner here?
I don't see Nancy. Is anybody on from the from Butler Zupnik Trust?
Doesn't appear like it.
No.
So do you want to just delay this and give them the opportunity to?
Hang on, I got a text. You just
Okay.
look. Okay. That's not this one, right, Kyla? Where is Kyla?
No.
Okay. Yeah, let's see if they come back. If they come. So we'll put this one off and see
And
if
just
the
move on to
applicant
move
show
on to
up.
307 Wall Street.
Yes.
Okay, I can come back for this.
All right.
Next item is 307 Wall Street, an application to install double-sided business identification sign under the Pike Plan canopy. Timely Signs of Kingston is the applicant and Peter Orr is the owner. Tyson, are you
Hey,
here?
everyone. I'm here. Hayes, how are you?
Good, how are you? Happy New Year.
Same to you. Good to see everybody. Tyson McCaslin from Timely Signs. We're proposing, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. You're
Okay.
on.
We're proposing a double-sided hanging sign under the Pike Plan, as outlined in the drawings that we submitted. The sign is listed on page 1 will be a minimum of 96 inches above grade. And my client is aware that City of Kingston needs to be named as additionally insured on their insurance.
Any members of the Heritage Area Commission have questions of the applicant or issues? Sue, this meets with all the code requirements?
Yes, it does.
Do I hear a motion from the Heritage Area Commission to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Motion by Bonnie Howland.
Do I hear a second?
Dean Barnes.
Second by Kevin McAvoy. That motion's on the floor. Do we need debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Janet Marr.
Aye.
Do I hear a motion to approve the double-sided business identification sign installation at 307 Wall Street as proposed?
So move, Mike.
Second, Dean Barnes.
Michael Del Priore motion and Gene Barnes second. That motion's on the floor. Any debate or discussion around that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
Thank you. The ayes have it.
Thank you, Hayes.
Turn it over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Hayes. For members of Historic Landmark Preservation Commission, do we have any questions for the applicant and or for Tyson here on behalf of the applicant? All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act.
Hayes Clement, so moved.
Thank you, Hayes. Do I hear a second?
Andrea Pugh, second.
Thank you, Andrea. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, I am going to call the roll. Hayes,
Aye.
Andrea,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
Nettie,
Aye.
Kevin.
Aye.
Thank you. I'll make that unanimous. And I will move that the commission find as fact that the proposed installation of a double-sided business identification sign at 307 Wall Street in the Stockade Historic District by applicant Timely Signs of Kingston, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. The sign will be a dark blue and gray sign, 52 inches wide by 14 inches high and 3/4 of an inch thick, double-sided, made of exterior grade PVC, painted with vinyl copy applied to display Ameriprise Financial, Michael P. Ferraro Financial Advisor. This work will cause a material change to the external appearance of the property, but will not cause any permanent change to the building or to the Pike Plan that would affect its character or significance in the district. Any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to additional work being carried out. That this commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on this 6th day of January 2022, that our commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in its application to our commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in our foregoing motion. Do I have a second?
Robert Tonner, second.
Thank you, Robert. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Hayes,
Aye.
Andrea,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
Nettie,
Aye.
Kevin.
Aye.
I'll make it unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Tyson.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone.
Hayes, back to you.
Next
Hey,
item.
Hayes, can I interrupt for a second? This is Kyla. We have an applicant, Andreas Washington.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? We received a call from the owner that you were pulling the application for tonight. That
He didn't speak to me about that. He didn't speak to me about that, but I think so, yeah.
Okay, because he didn't think that you were going to be using this space, so he asked us to remove the application from the agenda.
No, I still was. I just didn't get a chance to speak to him today. And we were going to speak, but he never answered my phone call.
Sue, I don't know what you want to do about that. It's
I
for a
would
door.
suggest then that you get in touch with him and then get back to us at the office and let us know what direction you're headed in, because we had pulled the application off the agenda tonight.
Okay, yeah, I'm in the position where I want to do it, but I don't know what the landlord wants to do.
Well, the property owner has to be the consenting party.
Okay.
And he's indicated to us that he wanted the application pulled. So we would need him to confirm that we should be talking about it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So have him, you get with him, have you guys call us and let us know what's going on, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
Sorry.
Okay, next item of business is 85 Broadway, which is a proposal to renovate and alter an existing mixed-use property, including new exterior doors, windows, paint, skylights, and a retaining wall. Jennifer Lucas is the applicant on behalf of Middle Seat LLC, who is the owner. Jennifer, thank you for being here. Can you just sort of walk us through what you want to do while we show the application?
Of course. Thank you very much.
Jennifer, I have your plans. I can share them. I don't know if you would prefer sharing them, or do you want me to pull them up on the screen and go through them?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind doing that,
Okay,
that would be great.
that's fine.
Thank you very much. So the existing building at 80, 83, 85 Broadway is on the south side. It's currently in a C2 commercial zone. It's a brick building with storefronts that are typical for that area in the roundout. Currently, there are 4 apartments, 2 on either side, including the bay above. And then, of course, we have the storefronts down below. The one on the left-hand side is Grounded Cafe. There's also on the far left, on the edge of the building, there's entry into the apartments. That would be the landlord entry up into the apartments. And then, of course, we have Grounded Cafe. And then in the middle, the building used to house Kingston Laundry. And that was they call it forklift alley. It's large enough for a forklift, but not large enough for a car to go through. And then we have in the center, we have more access to the apartments in the middle. And then on the right-hand side, we currently have Peta there with a commercial storefront. So what we are proposing to do on the front of the building is to repair and repaint the existing cornice and crowns, replace the windows, and we are replacing them with a Marvin Ultimate with a wood finish on the outside, which will be painted with Benjamin Moore as noted we're going a little bit beyond what we're looking at the moment, but so we are going to be replacing the windows and painting them in the Benjamin Moore soot color, which is the dark charcoal color. We will be the storefront at Grounded, which is on the left-hand side, which is more of the AF 475 Benjamin Moore. The glass is going to be replaced, but for the most part, that's going to stay and be painted. In the middle of the where the forklift alley is, we are replacing those doors. It's going to have a transom above, 2 large doors that open, and then a smaller door on the left-hand side that the tenants can go in and out for garbage and whatnot to store their garbage. Also in the middle, we are replacing glass and making the storefront match more alike the Grounded on the left, that storefront as well. And also on the far right where Hedda is, we are also replacing that storefront so that we have a little bit more cohesive storefront glass there. So basically we're replacing windows, replacing glass, as well as putting new doors in the middle, and then storefronts over on the right-hand side. We are also replacing the windows on the back of the building, which can be seen from Post Street. That will also, be the same in terms of the windows. And then, of course, there are 2 skylights going in, which are barely visible from the other side as well. So I think that's it. If you guys have any questions or if I missed anything, I could certainly fill you in.
Thank you, Jennifer, and especially thank you for your very thorough proposal. It's appreciated.
It's a team effort here, so.
Do any members of the Heritage Area Commission have questions or issues with the proposal? I personally think it looks terrific. Thank you. Do I hear a motion from any Heritage Area?
Hey, can I just ask one quick question? Jennifer, in the application materials, there was mention of a retaining wall being reconstructed. It's
actually part of the building, the foundation and the back wall. What happens is that the back of the site slopes towards Broadway. So there's a portion in the back. Let me see if I can pull up the plan. It's part of the building wall that is also acting as a retaining wall. So it would we're getting a structural engineer in there to fix that portion of the foundation which,
Okay.
it's basically partially submerged below the grade. So it's not a freestanding maybe I shouldn't have said it that way.
Okay, all right, I got it. Okay, I just wanted to be clear that it's not actually, it's not a retaining wall, so it's part of the foundation, more or less.
Yes,
Okay, and you're just repairing, restoring that. Okay,
correct.
good. Okay,
Any other questions from the Heritage Area Commission for the applicant? Comments? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second, Kevin McAvoy.
Thank you, Dean and Kevin. That motion is on the floor. Is there any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
Second, do I hear a motion to approve the exterior renovation plan for 85 Broadway, including new exterior doors, windows, paint, skylights, and the retaining wall as presented?
Bonnie
moved.
Howland, so moved.
Bonnie Howland, do I hear a second?
I'll second. Mike.
Second by Michael Del Priore. That duly made motion is on the floor. Is there any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Janet Marr.
Aye.
The ayes have it. I'll turn it over to you, Mark.
All right. Thank you, Hayes. Do any members of Historic Landmark Preservation Commission have questions for Ms. Lucas?
Not a question, just a comment. I agree with HAC. This looks really nice. So yeah, keep it up.
Thank you. I'll pass that on.
And also, if you are interested in some of the history of the building from maybe 60 years ago, Eli Bosch, a local attorney, knew the family very well that ran the laundry there, and could give you a sense of the old layout and perhaps explain some of the more inexplicable interior bumps and craziness that I think is in there. All right. Any other comments or questions for our applicant? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion that we declare this as a type 2 action under seeker. Do I hear a motion?
Robert Tonner.
Andrea,
Thank you.
second.
All right. Thank you, Robert, and thank you, Andrea. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Hayes?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Nettie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote aye. On to the question at hand. I move that the commissioners present find as fact that the proposed renovations and alterations to 8385 Broadway in the Rondout Historic District by applicant Jennifer Lucas, RA, and owner Middle Seat LLC, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. Existing cornices, crown, fascia, soffit, and brackets will be painted. Existing drip edge will be replaced to match. New windows at openings will be installed to replicate the originals. The storefront window non-original wood panel transom will be removed. Storefronts will be repaired and repainted. Non-original doors and transom will be replaced. Storefront colors to the left will be Benjamin Moore Lush AF 475 for 93 Broadway, and Just uphill to the right, as you face the structure, will be Benjamin Moore Soot 2029-20 for 85 Broadway. This work will cause a material change to the external appearance of the property, but will aid in adding to the character of the historic district. Any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to that work being carried out. The commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on this 6th day of January 2022, our commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in its application to our commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I hear a second?
Hayes Clement, second.
Thank you, Hayes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Hayes?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Nettie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Thank you kindly. Hayes, back to you.
Next item on the agenda is 316 Wall Street, which is a proposal to amend an already approved plan to expand the bulkhead roof to create a small exterior covered areas at the east and west ends and other minor details to handrails and planting areas. The applicant is Joe Smith, representing Lion-Zott Architecture Studio on behalf of the owner, Trey 16 LLC. Joe, are you here?
I'm standing in for Joe today. My name's Andrew Lyon. I'm one of the founding principals. Joe's traveling.
If you want to walk us through what you're proposing, we'll show it on the screen for all of the members.
We've kind of jumped straight into the rooftop addition. We're working with Trey 16 to provide a mixed-use building. We have 2 apartments and commercial space on the ground floor. Commercial on the ground floor is using HVAC to come up. We're relocating some HVAC equipment. And then in terms of the rooftop, we're connecting a stair up to the rooftop deck. And so what you see here is a standing seam metal roof with an extension to cover some area below. If you can move on to the next page, please. And so this is a 3D visualization of the extension of that roof, keeping in character with the structure. This is the existing view. We have some existing mechanical equipment that we're relocating to kind of remove it from the facade. We understand this facade's sort of a landmark facade, so we're really cleaning up and preserving that brick exterior.
Andrew, which building is it in this photograph?
So
the one, that tall shaft.
It's these 2 buildings. Well, it's this building here, and so it's this white building, and then it's this extension, this brick extension here.
So the addition would go from the white building onto the existing roof of the red brick building?
No, I think if we go to the next page, Mr. Clement, you can see that we have a small rooftop addition. It's really a stair bulkhead that we're expanding the roof over, and that's this here.
Portion of this was reviewed, I believe, last November.
Correct.
And this is a modification to that approval.
So it's expanding a little bit further backwards toward.
Correct.
Towards Fair Street.
Toward Fair.
Correct. Yes.
Any HAC commissioners have questions of the applicant? Any comments? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Bonnie Hallen, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second, Dean Barnes.
second,
Thank you, Dean. That motion is on the floor. Is there any debate on declaring this a type 2 action under seeker? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
Have it on declaring it a type 2 action under seeker. Do I hear a motion to approve the amended proposal for bulkhead roof expansion at 316 Wall Street as proposed, as presented?
So move, Mike.
Michael Del Priore makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second, Kevin McAvoy.
Second by Kevin. Any debate on that proposal? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
Thank you, guys. I'll turn it back over to you, Mark.
Thank you kindly. Mr. Lyon, my questions are mostly about drainage from that roof and how that's to be handled with the green roof and the construction beneath so as to make sure the building itself remains stable long term. How is that handled?
Is it okay if I share my screen, Mr.
That-
Grunblatt?
That would be great.
Great, thank you very much. It says host sheet screen sharing disabled, so.
Isla, can you help?
Hold
Let
on.
me look into that. Let me find you on my list here. Sue, I don't know if we can do that.
I'm looking right now. Let me try this. See if you can do it now, Andrew.
Perfect, thank you so much.
Yep, okay.
So we have the two previously approved plan above and the proposed plan below. I'll sort of sketch over it. The roof is sloping back this way, and we're proposing really to have a gutter along the edge, and then a leader that comes down the side of the building. And we're either, we can take it into the building or we can drain it onto the green roof and then into an area drain. For the hard surfaces, what we're doing is an elevated pedestal system. Try to find my section here. So we have the elevated pedestals here, and in these pedestals, we're not really changing the slope of the roof. We're keeping the roof drainage below consistent. Mr. Grumlett, I hope that answers your question.
Okay, so it's either going to be a drain, so it's all draining to the back of the building. We have it draining down through a gutter system and joining the prior rain gutter headed down the back of the building. Am I following you correctly?
Yeah, so maybe we can break this out into two portions. So for the roof above the vertical extension, we have a leader at the end that's connecting to that. I thought you were asking about the roof drainage for the existing roof drain, which we're putting a pedestal system on top of and not altering the drainage path for that.
Okay, so and does that make maintenance more complex, or is that still available for sealing if necessary? I don't. This is a new method for me, and our charge is sort of long-term thought here.
Of course. The pedestal, well, the reason why we like the pedestal systems is that they're completely low impact. They're gravity fed. There's no fixed fasteners through the roof membrane. So any access to the drain locations, you can remove a pedestal and replace it. So all access to the roof surface is from above. These systems typically increase the longevity of any roof membrane because they're protecting the roof membrane from UV and sunlight. So in fact, largely they're a benefit to the roof as long as they're installed correctly.
All right, thank you. Does any other member of Historic Landmark Preservation Commission have questions for our applicant? And since we're screen sharing, I can't see you. Please unmute and let yourself be known.
I can stop sharing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else have questions for our applicant? All right, I'm not seeing anything, so I will entertain a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act.
He's Clement, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Robert, second.
I think Robert beat you, Andrea. All right, any discussion on the pending motion? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Hayes?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Nettie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. All right, then I will move that the commission find as fact that the proposed amendment to the approved plans for 316 Wall Street and the Stockade Historic District by applicant Lion Shot Architecture Studio DPC and owner Trey 16 LLC, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. The amendment will include expanding the bulkhead roof to create a small exterior covered area in the east and west ends of the roof. The publicly visible architectural details facing Fair Street will match or be similar to the existing balconies below, pending structural and modern construction requirements. Replacement of existing windows and doors on the second and third floors with historically appropriate windows and minor and miscellaneous changes to handrails and some painted areas. That this work will cause a material change to the external appearance of the property, that said work will not detract from the character of the historic district or of the building, that any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to the work being carried out. The commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on this 6th day of January 2022, our commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in its application to our commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in our foregoing motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second Eddie Morano.
Thank you, Nettie. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Hayes?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Nettie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Thank you kindly, Mr. Lyon.
Thank you for your time, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.
You too.
Before we move on, I just want to call out, is Nancy, I haven't seen Nancy join, but is anyone else here to represent Nancy Donskoy on item number 3, which is 28 Post Street? Okay. And then I would just ask if both commissions would agree. Tyson is still here for, and the next 3 items are all for one group of individuals, but Tyson is here for item number Schwenk Drive. It's at the end. If we might just entertain taking that sign review first, 129 Schwenk Drive, number 10.
Okay, I think that's
Now we
fine.
just see actually heritage.
Yeah. So the next item of business then is 129 Schwink Drive, an application for a double-sided freestanding sign. Timely Signs is the applicant on behalf of Ulster Federal Credit Union. Tyson, you want to walk us through that?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute there. Yeah, so client is looking to put a double-sided freestanding sign in this location, non-illuminated, just pretty much a basic flat sign there. There's not a sign there existing. I'm not sure if there's any questions or concerns.
Anybody on the Heritage Area Commission have questions or comments on the proposal? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Mike, second.
Michael Del Priore, second. Any debate on that motion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
Do I hear a motion to approve the double-sided freestanding sign as proposed for 129 Swink Drive?
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Nettie Morano, second.
Thank you, Nettie. That motion is duly made and on the floor. Any further debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Janet Marr.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Tyson.
Thank you, everyone. Stu, thank you so much. You guys have a good
Thanks.
evening. Bye, everyone.
Aye.
Okay, so now we move back to item number 7 on tonight's agenda, 24 to 26 Hunter and 33 to 35 West Union. I know that we have at least 3 people from the architectural firm, I believe. I guess I'll turn it over to you first.
Before we get into that, Sue, we're just being asked for preliminary comment tonight.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And also a discussion of whether we feel like a public hearing should be
Correct.
scheduled.
Yes.
Okay.
And Mr. Menuda, I don't know, are you sharing your screen for the presentation or? Okay, Sue,
I
can you?
will need to just adjust you then. Hold on a second. Let me find you. Okay, you should be able to share screen now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent, wonderful. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing us to present. I'm very excited about this project as well as my client. If you're familiar with the area, obviously we have the existing church that is going to be restored, converted use that will be turned into retail on the main floor and residential on the upper floor. I think there'll be wonderful spaces. With regard to the historic character of that, we plan on restoring that church to the existing building in its detail to its glory. We will have some challenges with respect to the building code and how we make certain things happen with regard to thermal compliance, et cetera. But that is essentially our intent at this time. The adjacent properties do not currently have buildings on them. And having been on the Architectural Commission for the City of Newark for 6 years, I understand the intent of your charge. I think I do anyway. And we have chosen to let the existing historical architecture represent itself and chose to go with a contrast to that, since no buildings exist on the properties adjacent to it now, to provide something that is more of current design, as well as meeting all of the requirements for things such as open space and green space for this type of a project. And in doing so, we have chosen to go with green roofs and open pergola areas on there. And I'm going to share that with you in just a moment. So this, let's see here. Can you see that?
No.
No. Okay, let's try that again. Screen share. Here we go. You can see that.
I see that you're starting screen sharing. We don't see a picture yet. There it goes.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay. So here's the existing church, obviously. That is going to be what I discussed earlier. To the right of it is currently an open area, which leads up to the church. And we have the secondary, which sort of looks like this. So if you're familiar with the area, that's what it is. I think I'm sharing this now, yes? So you see the side view?
No, we see the front view of the church from West Union.
Let's see. Here we are.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So a lot of the additions off the side are in very bad shape, poor shape structurally, actually. They're also on the other property. So they are planned to be removed. And I'm going to share with you now, if I can get to the screen share again. I'm going to share with you now I have a few of these open. And I'm trying to get to a part, you'll have to excuse me. Can you see this rendering of the site?
Yes, it's like an architectural kind of a modeling type of drawing that we see. It has all three projects.
That is correct.
Church, and then it has the adjacent property there, and then the one that goes between Union and Hunter.
Correct. So here we have the existing church. This is our proposed 6-family residential structure that would be on currently there's 2 lots there. We would be looking to do a lot line deletion between the 2, and then we'd have 6-family on this location. There'd be views on this side toward some of the water features. And this is on a Beale Street, which is located over here. This project, and we have parking on the underside of this. So your ground floor is actually parking. We tried to accommodate as much parking on site as we could. And we did that for both buildings. Both buildings will have elevators. They will also have stair access for fire stair accessibility. This particular project here across the street, we've termed this just for orientation. The church building we've termed as Project A. Next to it is Project B, and the third is Project C. And so you'll find that we did the parking on the underside. It also allows for movement from this street to the next street over. Obviously, this is very preliminary in design and in concept. This is ultimately what we would like to build as an intent. And we have many other boards to go through, as well as building department and et cetera. But this is our first starting blocks with you. We've tried to provide as much balcony space, as much open space as possible. And you'll also find each one of the roof areas is a fully functioning outdoor space. That's how we were able to accommodate the small lot sizes, but still provide the green space that the zone requires. And so that is essentially the project as a whole. And I am happy to take any questions or comments at this time.
And I like the ambitiousness of this. My only question is in building C, the long rectangular building, why are there so few windows?
So in creating the buildings, we've basically come up with a few floor plans. And if you'll allow me, I believe this is the drawing with it. These are essentially townhomes. Depending on the side that we're on, obviously, the amount of windows would be consistent with the type of use of the room within. Let's see if I can get there.
But on your rendering for 4 units, I literally only see, 3 sort of slider windows.
If you'll just bear with me to get to the floor plan, I think that might illustrate it a little better. These are large files, so just waiting for this to catch up.
Right. And this is something that I've spoken briefly to our building department about. That same question was obviously something that we had when we did our first preliminary review of this. So it would be suggested, I think, that you might want to reach out to them and start discussing with them. They indicated that there would be some additional openings required for the units. So for natural light purposes and ingress, egress kinds of things.
Right. So if we take a look at this drawing here, okay, you'll see that, we've got this is the main apartment area. So if we come through, this is the 3rd floor. Let's get to the 1st floor. The 1st floor is going to be, so here we have our parking area, which is proposed. And then we access the floors through the stairwell here, or the elevator. And then we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 townhomes. So you'll see that this is all just an aisle along this portion of it. Now we'll most likely have windows here because that becomes the hallway. That's going to provide some natural light. And again, this is extremely preliminary. This was really just to get the massing together, to understand what the minimum requirements are for to develop the townhome and to have all of the elements that are needed within. Obviously, these drawings will develop further as we go along. So yes, I hear your question with regard to windows and light, and that will certainly be incorporated in the next phase of this. So anyway, let's just continue on this portion and this nerve of this. We've got essentially a kitchen design on this location within the townhome, stairs that come up. This is essentially your open area as you would access through here from the main areas of this central common area. Moving upward, you're going to have obviously bathrooms that will likely have a window. You're going to have bedrooms that are going to have windows, as well as the master bedrooms. So this essentially creates 1 unit and 1 master bath. So as far as space planning is concerned, we think we've got that nailed down pretty well. The rest of it's going to become fenestration. So I don't want to belabor all of that, but I hope that does get you to a point of answering your question.
I think one thing that would also be helpful as the architectural design kind of evolves is to do some renderings or simulations, kind of bringing in what's adjacent or what's in the immediate vicinity of these structures to see how these buildings will fit into the neighborhood at large, rather than just looking at them independently without any surrounding structures. In terms of scale and density, I think that would, like that doesn't show what's around it. It's just a single, it's hard to, evaluate that way.
Understood.
And if I could just clarify, in terms of the charge of these two commissions, it's less about the light and the functionality in the interior of that building. It's more about how that's going to present to the neighborhood. So it's that sort of monolithic sense of it. A building that scale with no windows is rendered that would concern me. So just to clarify that.
I completely understand your request for fenestration.
I think another important view, particularly for Project B, would be from the Abeele Street side of things as well, because I think that project is going to, the property itself stands above Abeele Street, and then you've got a very high structure on top of that. So from the Abeele Street perspective, to look up to that building, it's going to be a very high appearance. So that I think is something that you want to take a look at as well.
Well, I tell you, we unfortunately we don't have the inconvenience of this evening that we can't meet in person. We have all of this 3D rendered, and
Okay.
we actually have this showing it from Abeele Street within our models. And this actually is, I think, the Abeele Street version. Let's see if I can share this with you. Are you seeing this?
I am.
Okay, so what we have is within this area, this is a lot of rock formation and rock outcroppings that happen along this area here. So this, again, this is just more of a massing than anything else. This will end up having a lot of glass here so that we can capture the views from across the way. And something else that we've done is we've taken these windows on the sides here and we've oriented them toward the view so that each unit within this within these townhomes actually focuses toward the view, which is to this direction. So you can see how this slopes down, and obviously you've got there's a lot of rock outcropping through here that goes onto Abeele Street. I hope that assists you in sort of understanding some of the concepts for this. Yeah. Okay. But your comments are duly noted. Thank you.
And I would like to second anything that you can do to add in the massing of what is in the surrounding neighborhood. And also, if you can explain to us how your chosen materials will interact with what's already there. I'm trying to remember, particularly on Union Street, what I believe is on the lower side is largely 2- and 3-story. A lot of siding, not a lot of brick. Are you looking to pick up any themes from the surrounding neighborhood? And if you can explain those ties to us, it will be a big help, at least from the Historic Commission's perspective.
And I thank you for that. And part of the discussion tonight is to sort of get a feel as to what it is that you're looking for and what you feel would be good within the area. I'd like to have this as an open dialogue in both directions.
Right. It's especially important for you since you're planning to raise the building above grade. It's an unusual setup for the area, however, and it makes everything you're doing up top that much more prominent. And we'll be looking to see how it fits with what's around it. I also wanted to give you a little hint on the history of the building. It was built as the synagogue for Agudas Achim in a similar situation with property on Abeele Street. The folks who redid that synagogue, which is tied to Congregation Emmanuel here in Kingston, chose to donate some stained glass windows and some other architectural detail that had particular ritual significance to the congregation. If you find something that you are looking to not reuse that may be of ritual importance, I would appreciate your noting that, and we can approach Agudas Achim to see if they would be willing. That they still exist in Lucas Avenue here in Kingston, and may be interested in receiving items like that.
On that, let me just, if you can put up the plan that shows the existing front of the church and your proposed front. I think that's on, is that on one plan? I believe might be, they're next to each other maybe.
Are you looking for the floor plan or the elevations?
The elevation of the
Elevation.
front, the existing, because the one issue that we were looking at staff level is that the one large window on that church building is being proposed to be removed and replaced with smaller windows on the front facade. And I'd kind of like to see if there's a creative way to retain that window, because it is part of that historic, it's part of that historic building's fabric. See if we can find it. I think that's another, while you're looking for that too, I'll just make the comment that in this neighborhood, in this Rondout community, there's a lot of connectivity, like pedestrian connectivity. And I'm not really getting that feel with these projects where there's that walkability, people in the building walking in the neighborhood, there's no porches, nothing like that for people to kind of be, congregating on, or that's something I'm trying to struggle with here with this design.
I'm sorry, the connections in the neighborhood without.
Yeah, like the pedestrian, I'm not getting a pedestrian connection here, and I think the whole Rondout community is very pedestrian oriented. A lot of activity, just walking on the streets, and I don't get the connection here, that connectivity. At least not at this stage. That was one thing I was struggling with.
So the balcony areas and the rooftops, as well as the ability to walk below and around and underneath the buildings, I think has actually great connection from a pedestrian standpoint, because it's all pedestrian.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about that, and I think it'll, as we look through the project a little deeper, I think you'll find some of those things within this. I do want to find that, I don't want to move too far off the topic. I want to do that, elevation for you for the church, right? It's like, of course, this is going to be difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot, I know.
Every time you need it, right?
Of course.
While you're looking, Mr. Menuda, I think it'd be helpful too if your firm has done something similar to this design with other projects in other cities. If you do, if you have, it'd be helpful to see photos of that.
Okay, we'll take a look at some of that. Primarily, when we were first brought into the project, we were brought in for the restoration and historic value. I do a lot of that work. We just moved an 1890s house for Amazon. It was federal style, and anyway, I do a lot of historic restoration type work. So the first portion of that was because of this synagogue, which later became the church. So anyway, we have the front elevation here, and I'm hoping the rest of it will follow suit.
Yeah, and I know it's in the package.
Yes, you're looking for the elevation?
Yeah, there we go.
Right, okay, so this is the existing front west elevation of the building. This building right here this appendage will come off of the building. That's sort of in disrepair, and then we have the back of the building. Let's just go to the. So when we take a look at this, I don't believe there's much change in that. Our intent is to keep as much of the architectural detail as possible.
Right, it's that second story, that large window above the doorway into the building that's going to be removed.
This piece.
That large window is coming out, and I think, I know that there's a interior wise, there's a wall there, center wall that's going to separate units. I'd like to think about a little creative way to maintain that window from the exterior. I just think it makes the front of the building, it maintains its integrity as what it was historically. And I'd hate to see that element removed. That's my personal opinion. I don't know how the commission members feel, but.
I happen to like it. I take no exceptions to that. If we can make that work, I'm happy to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sue, Andrea speaking, I have to agree with you. I think it's important to keep that. The facade is how it is, I think is wonderful. I understand the need for symmetry, especially in the floor plan, but I agree. I think there's a creative way to get around that. And since I'm on the vein, I think my biggest struggle with the other two buildings is I get the impulse to want to be modern. And I think it's appropriate that you've kept brick on the facade, which is great because much of the surrounding neighborhood has brick, and that in and of itself keeps it historic and contextual. But I think there's some details missing. It feels a little bit too monolithic. And if you examine some of the buildings in the neighborhood and see what their scale and details are like, especially once you start to incorporate fenestration, that's going to help pretty drastically. And I think to Sue's point about it feeling not very connected pedestrian-wise, you have a parking garage on the ground floor, and that in and of itself doesn't feel very pedestrian-friendly. Everything feels removed and above the ground plane. So if you can incorporate a better connection to the ground plane there, I think that would go a long way.
Okay, will do.
Right, you're at an added disadvantage in that you're on a hill, and the historic entry to it is the stairway up to the old synagogue, or I think it was the Christian Science Church is the one that took it over from Agudas Achim. And so I don't know if you're planning on maintaining that stairway as the pedestrian way down, or how that all is going to connect. And that would be my comment on pedestrian access.
Right, we don't have, with regard to the synagogue church, what we're turning it into, there's really no other way to create a connection to the sidewalk area than what exists now. Only, you've seen the large retaining wall that sits in front of it. And let's see here. So there's really not much we can do about that with gaining access to the street. It's just, that's the way it was built. And fortunately, that's what we have to work with, which is this.
Right.
Right.
So in creating the layout around the fence and down to the sort of interesting steps down to the sidewalk, I don't know how that is how you're tying any of your newer buildings to that streetscape. And it's admittedly not something that you typically do first time through, But I think being able to address it, as Sue has pointed out, would give us a better sense of how you're planning to tie into the rest of the neighborhood. Off of Beale Street, it's really tough. You're dealing with rock outcrops. I don't think you want people rappelling onto a Beale Street. I mean, it will certainly
feature.
A corkscrew slide, I don't know, but however you plan to do that, we'd like a sense of where folks are likely to be walking in and walking out. And she's right that this is a walkable neighborhood and would be a selling point. We found that to be very true in other neighborhoods of Kingston, especially our historic districts, that they are walkable and easily accessible that way.
Understood. And I would like to just quickly go back to the comment with regard to parking garage on the main level. I don't see I don't look at these from an aesthetic standpoint. Do I envision an intent as a parking garage or parking structure? I look at this more along the lines, if you're going to go to Long Beach Island and you see the homes up on Pilote, there is a pedestrian connection there with the stairwell and how the treatment is with the surrounding area as far as landscaping and materials that are chosen. And that would be my my response or my intent with respect to those areas, if that helps you envision what our vision is a little more.
We're going to be looking for your best shot at helping us see it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do any of the other commissioners have comments? Hayes?
Nope. Anybody else from the HAC have comments or issues to express at this stage?
I just have a comment, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know this is very early, very preliminary, but I think what Sue had said about this entire area, the facade of what's happening to the old synagogue and this whole area in here, I think needs to be, I don't know, studied perhaps a little more carefully, because this looks, I don't know, it looks kind of deadly in conjunction with the parking across the street. I totally get why you're putting the parking underneath, et cetera, but that has to be really carefully done, because that always says mugging. You know, a dark, you got a huge monolithic building with columns underneath it. And if it's not properly lit, it becomes a wind tunnel and just not a friendly place to be able to go underneath. But again, I don't want to criticize at this juncture, because it's so early in your design development. But I think this area and the underside of that parking garage are going to need some real careful consideration.
Michael, thank you. And it's a pleasure to speak with you in such a long time. Yes, the intent's there for it to be very well lit. Obviously, these are residences. We're not looking at this as a commercial structure per se, although there are 3 per lot. But yes, more residential in nature and character with regard to lighting for that. But I hear exactly where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, very early. So there's no specifics, but yes, thank you for listening.
And just so that the commission members are clear, there is that the church building will have some commercial activity. That's going to be a mixed use building. The other 2 structures are solely residential in nature. So there would be this one mixed use building here.
I would just also reiterate something Andrea mentioned. I too like the fact that your impulse is to do something contemporary here in a way that blends with the old as opposed to mimicking the old.
I always felt that, and I appreciate that comment. I've always felt that by trying to replicate a new building to make it look historic doesn't always turn out the right way. We don't have the same materials or the same details. And it really allows both buildings to shine on their own merits. I would also like to add, we chose to do the parking on the underside for the simple fact that we're trying to put as much parking on the site as we can. Right now, the way this property is situated, we're going to need, if we take a look at all three of these properties, we'll need, even though we accommodated on-site parking, we are still short 42 parking spaces. So the reason and intent that we have the parking there is so that we can accommodate as much as possible. It's the only way we could figure out to do this. If we want to take that fenestration and we want to drop it, not having parking areas, that then, now we have to displace that someplace else within the public domain, which we really don't have. So that becomes some of the challenge with the regulations. And again, this is our first blush at it, and we are very happy to be here. And I'm very happy to have heard what you've had to say this evening.
Any other commission members that we haven't heard from yet want to add any comment? Any
Janet
thought?
Marr, Janet
Jen?
Marr, HAC. Regarding the building without windows, I just feel it needs to have a warmer feel to it. The first time I looked at the plans, I just felt like it was ugly, and it just needs to be warmth, to be welcoming to the people who like to live there. So that's just my comment. And regarding parking, it's going to be tight with, if you have all those townhomes and apartments and commercial space, parking is always an issue down there without all these additional buildings being built.
Anybody else?
Not at this time. No, I think everybody has covered what I was going to say. So
Okay.
I'm good for the moment till we see what the next renderings are.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. All right.
Do we need to discuss the public hearing question at this point, or do we need to see where we fit with the rest of the application going to planning board and how all that is going to play?
Right, it is going to the planning board this month. All three of these projects are. The planning board is scheduling this as a public hearing. I am thinking that public hearing will not get closed at January and will be carried forward to the next meeting. I think that it would be good for the commissions to hold off scheduling a hearing until you maybe see some additional information, until the plan is developed or evolved a little further for all three projects. And you're a little happy, that's up to you to talk about and deliberate amongst yourselves, but I don't know if it's too early in the review process to schedule a hearing at this point.
I agree it's too early right now, but I would like to, I certainly believe at some point the two commissions need to have their own public hearing on this. And I just want to make that clear, if that's the consensus tonight, that, we are very likely going to require a public hearing.
I think we're going to need to see a lot more on the exterior final layouts and also a lot on material to get before I would feel like it would be ready to take to the public. That's my own personal take on things. I agree, Hayes. It's large enough, at least in its present layout, that we're going to want to hear from members of the public.
Can we pull down the screen share so we can see more of the members? If that's, thank you.
Thank you.
See a lot more faces.
Hi, everyone.
At this juncture, I agree wholeheartedly. We have to go through planning and figure out what the properties are going to afford us through that particular municipal process. And if we're successful there, then we can start to focus on all of the things we discussed this evening, because depending on the outcome of that municipal board, that may change the project dramatically. In other words, right now we're showing firewalls going between the buildings that we're proposing simply for the fact that we've got, they're independent lots. So if we're able to do that lot line deletion, the building might look a little different as well. So that's going to be the push and pull of this project. And I'd be very happy to come back to you with newer, more updated information that both complies with what they're looking for and what I've heard this tonight from everyone.
That's a good point, the lot line deletion. Thank you.
And thank you for bringing it to us even at this early juncture. It's nice to get a sense of where you see this project going.
Thank you so much. And I can't, I can't thank the client enough, because it's really his vision of what he wants to do here in Kingston. And, he saw the building, he saw the area, and he's looking to make a concerted effort with regard to development and investment into this area. He loves it. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. Let him know we love it too.
Okay. So if no other commission member has anything further, I believe we need to make some motions to table the applications. I don't know, Hayes, do you want to start first with the Heritage Commission?
Yeah, so.
I think you can probably do all three items with one motion, because you're just tabling, so you're not doing anything specific.
Do I hear a motion to table consideration of the applications from 28 Post Street?
No, not 28.
Not yet.
No, we're talking about item number 7, 24 to 26.
Okay. Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commission member to table the proposals for 2426 Hunter Street, 3335 West Union, and 2527 Abeal, and 3840 West Union?
And
Dean
one more.
Barnes.
Wait, there's one more. Right, you have,
And 24 West Union.
thank you.
Dean Barnes, you've made the motion.
Hmm.
Do I hear a second?
Bonnie Howland, second.
Any debate on this? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Eddie Morano,
Aye.
Janet Marr.
Aye.
Mark?
All right. For Historic Landmark Preservation Commission, I will entertain a motion to table consideration of item number 7, that's 24-26 Hunter Street and 33-35 West Union Street. Item number 8.
So moved, Robert.
No, wait.
Hang on, we still got to get 2 more. Item number 8, 25-27 Abeal Street and 38-40 West Union Street, and finally 24 West Union Street. Now, please.
Now, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Hayes, for that second. I will call the roll. Hayes?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Nettie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative, so we are tabled on those matters. Are we going to table Post Street?
I would, yes, I would say we're going to table. I
Okay,
thought they were going to be here. I'm surprised that they are not.
Oh,
all right, then I will entertain a motion to table the consideration of 28 Post Street. Do I hear a motion?
so moved.
Thank you, Hayes. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Andrea, second.
Oh, I think Kevin beat you, Andrea. He's quick on that space bar.
I'm slow tonight, apparently.
All right, any discussion on that? I'll call the roll for HLPC. Hayes,
Aye.
Andrea,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
Nettie,
Aye.
Kevin.
Oh, wait, Hayes, I'm sorry, Hayes, you recused on that to
You're
begin
right.
with. So you cannot make the motion.
Okay,
Sorry.
sorry.
All right,
You do that, Mark.
Okay, then I still need someone to move. Andrea sneaking in.
Andrew Hughes, so moved.
All right, a second, please.
Second, again.
Thank you, Kevin. I will call the roll. Hayes.
I recuse.
Thank you. Andrea.
Aye.
Robert.
Aye.
Nettie.
Aye.
Kevin.
Aye.
I also vote in favor, so we consider it tabled, and thank you for that catch, Sue. Over to you, Hayes.
Nope, Bonnie.
Thank you. Hayes doesn't have to formally hand it off. That's fine. Bonnie, on to you.
Hi.
Bonnie, you should include item 13, right? The thing we sent the guy home from.
Yeah, well, let's just do this one and then we'll just jump to 13 because Hayes, you could do that one.
All right,
All right.
so do I hear a motion from the HAC to postpone 28 Post Street?
Motion?
Do I hear a second?
Mike, second.
Second from Michael DePlier. I'm going to call the roll for, I'm Bonnie Howland. I vote aye. Michael DelPriore.
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Janet Marr.
Aye.
Nettie Morano.
Aye.
Hayes Clement, you recuse?
Recuse.
Thank you. Okay, now you need to, Hayes, move to 13.
Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commissioner to table consideration of item 11 regarding 585 Broadway?
Bonnie
moved.
Howland still moved. Oh, Michael got it.
I'll second you, Bonnie.
Okay, cool.
Bonnie Howard made a motion, Michael DelPriore seconded. I'll call the roll on that vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael DelPriore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Janet Marr.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Sue, do you want to give any reminder or a little briefing on the public hearing for Monday?
Oh, yes, thank you. I'm just looking for something here. I just got to write myself a note. Hang on.
And also, do we need to give any consideration to the planning board's notice that they want to be lead agency? Oh my gosh, I don't have it in front of me.
Golden Hill you're talking about?
Yeah, Golden Hill. I don't think we have anything to say about it, honestly.
No, then that's already been, they've already declared themselves lead agency in that action. So that matter is closed. And they're beginning that review right now. As far as Monday night, yes, it is the public hearing. Once again, we're going to be doing it as a Zoom webinar hearing. So you should all have received by now the individual invitations. Again, with Zoom webinar, it's unique to you. whereas it's not unique to a group anymore. So you need to make sure you keep that invitation handy and available for Monday evening. If for whatever reason you can't get in, or you can't find it, you can always use the trick, go to the actual website, the city website, and go to the meeting on the agenda, and you can, or on the calendar, and then you can join the meeting using the public Zoom link. And once you're in, ask then for us to admit you as a panelist, and we will promote you that way. But we're going to be moving and using the Zoom webinar format from now on. It's very similar. It's actually got a few more features which are very nice that I'm finding that I like. So it is more secure. So that's a good thing too. Monday night, I have right now registered only 6 speakers. I don't know how many more they have until 4 o'clock on Monday to register with us. So, and I do not have any written comments at this point.
Andrea?
Yep, just a reminder, I'll be recusing myself at that meeting. Yeah, so I'll probably be just in attendance as public.
Yep, and that's because of her affiliation with Scott Dutton, who's
Yeah,
the new architect, who's the architect now of record for the project. I'm presuming, since I have not heard from anybody else, that the rest of you will be in attendance. I don't anticipate we won't be we're not planning to take any action on Monday night. It will be just the public hearing, and depending on the outcome of that, we'll move forward with another meeting following to discuss, deliberate, and take action.
Any other questions from the Heritage Area Commission for Sue? Any other business?
I would like to
That's okay.
Go, Bonnie, you're on.
Rock, paper, scissors. I know right now that for the February meeting, my son has a basketball game, as long as COVID holds out and Kingston is still playing basketball, which we, knock on wood, are successfully. That I won't be able to be at that one because I'll be sitting on the bleachers screaming my head off.
Okay.
So just FYI.
And if I may issue a special greeting to Barbara Graves Poller, our new legal counsel and support from the city. Hi there. You've been hiding all evening, but it's great to have you on board.
Hi, Barbara.
All right.
Still hiding, who knows? Anybody else have any questions for Monday night? If you do, please, call the office. Kyla or I are around, so we'll be able to answer them.
And again, I have not received an invitation for that one either.
Oh,
you didn't. Okay, we're gonna have to double check. Has everybody else received the Monday night invitation?
I know about it.
yeah.
I'm not sure I have the link or anything yet.
It came pretty close together.
Oh.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll see if maybe you can if they can send a reminder. And I'm wondering if some might be going into your spam or something possibly, because it would be coming from Zoom directly with the name Summer Smith associated.
Yeah.
I checked my spam folder for
Okay.
tonight and I had not received anything from Summer Smith.
Okay, we'll see if we can resend. And if not, use the public link and we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Thank
that's going to work. Just put in the chat box when you join, and we'll find you and promote you.
The one I have came on December 21st. Does that sound right?
That sounds really early.
So
I
special
would suspect that's
meeting,
probably the
public
one you
hearing.
sent, so.
That's the
Yeah.
one, Kevin, that I sent. That was the old, that's the old one. You need to ignore that.
Alright,
It would be a
I
Zoom.
Okay.
December 30th was the current one that I have from Summersmith for the January 10th meeting.
To search for that.
So Thursday, January 30th was, and as you said, they came pretty close together. Yep, but check January 30th, Kevin.
Yeah, subject line is panelists for public
I'll do
hearing,
that, yeah.
HLPC, HAC.
Yeah, I know I got I got a couple of from summer, but I think they were for other boards that I'm on, like the CAC.
Yeah, she is sending all of them out for all of the meetings. They're coming from her or Elisa Tinty if she's not, if Summer's not available, but Summer's doing them all.
Sue?
It might have
Robert?
disappeared.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, I have a question. So I'm assuming that commissioner members shouldn't speak at this meeting? I mean, is it pro or con? Got it.
That is, yes, absolutely.
We are gathering their comments.
I'm gonna need a resend.
Okay.
No, yeah, I have a self-cleaning spam thing, and I think that's probably where it went.
Okay, so Kevin and Mark definitely. Anybody else?
All right. That might have been what happened to me earlier. Maybe I was using an expired link or something.
Yeah, well, I had originally sent out both of these meetings under the old, using the old format, the old Zoom format, and now we've switched to Zoom webinar rather than a standard meeting. So
that explains it.
Yeah.
Wrong link.
Yeah, well, that won't happen from now on. So
okay.
Okay.
All right. On behalf of HLPC, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Hayes Clement, so moved.
Thank you, Hayes. A second? Robert?
Okay.
Thank you for your second. I will call the roll. Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Nettie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
And Hayes.
Aye.
I will make it unanimous.
Hayes.
For HAC, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Dean Barnes, so
Motion to
moved.
adjourn.
Dean Burns moved. Do I hear a second?
Mike?
Mike Del
All right.
Priore.
Sorry, Kevin.
You're gonna have it.
I'll call the roll. Hayes Clement, I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes,
Aye.
Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
and Janet Marr.
Aye.
We are adjourned. See you Monday.
Okay, everybody, have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Aye.